Yo, 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 casual fans. Did you miss us? Welcome to another episode of the Casual Wrestler Podcast. I am, of course, your host, the casual one, Casual Steve. Join with me, as always, Mikey Suits. How are we doing, sir? It's been a long time.
Has it though? Because time's a flat circle. And we're not getting into physics today, Steven. It's so great to be back, casual fans, and we got a good one today.
Yes, we do, sir. Yes, we do. And as always, the illustrious TJW is in the building. How we doing, sir?
The best in the business. The legend in his own mind back in the saddle. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And as always, our ring general, Josh B. How we doing, sir?
What's going on, guys? I'm excited to be back. Haven't done this in a while. I'm pumped.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mikey alluded to we got a fun one today, and we say that quite a bit, but I think all of our drafts are pretty fun, especially when we get the gang back together, right? So today we will be discussing, since we are all under the TCW banner, we all have our own brand. And having our own brand, we need our own titles. So today, casual fans, we will be drafting our own titles for our own personal brands using whatever title from whatever period. That said, it's been a while since we've done a draft. Josh, would you please let our casual fans know how our snake draft runs?
Yeah, so we're doing snake draft just like you do in any fantasy football or baseball league. So person one will start the draft and get the first pick. Then 2, 3, and 4, and then number 4 will start the next round off. Also, we're going to take a little different today. We're going to keep our rounds being the same belt. So whoever starts the round will get to choose the belt we are drafting that round.
Fun, fun, fun. And since our ring general got the band back together, we are going to let Josh start us off with the first pick in round 1, sir, in our illustrious brand title draft.
So a little more background. What we're drafting today is going to be world title, mid-card title, women's title, tag title, and then at some point we'll have a wild card round. I'm going to start it with the big dog. I'm going to go world title to start off, and I'm going to go with the WWE Winged Eagle belt.
How did I know you were going to go there?
First off, in my opinion, one of the prettiest belts, on top of the legacy behind it, starting with Hogan, ending with Stone Cold. Plenty of legends in between, whether it be Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. It's just, to me, it's the belt I grew up on. It's the first belt I remember seeing as a kid. It's what got me in love with wrestling. So I'm going Winged Eagle.
Can we argue with you on that?
I don't think so. That's why I picked it.
That's about as chalk gets, Steve. And Josh, great pick. It's the only pick. It really is. It's not the only pick, but it's the best pick. It is true. The Hogan belt, the Bret Hart belt, the Yokozuna belt, the Diesel belt.
The Diesel belt. It just, the list goes on, bro.
Bob Backlund for 17 hours.
Gotta count it. Gotta count it.
It counts. No, it's a great belt, though. Beautiful belt.
All right, Mikey, take us to your pick, sir. You are pick number 2 in round 1.
A lot of people think that I'm just going to be handing the number 3 pick a chalk number 1, number 2 pick, but I'm going to defend my belt. I love WCW growing up, and the lineage of that title is prestigious and important, but I'm not taking it. I'm going to be a mark because I'm not a casual wrestling fan, Steve. I'm a wrestling fan. So give me the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, the original version, not the one that they currently have, which looks awful. And why on earth would you get rid of this belt, which is freaking beautiful? And by the way, the lineage of the title is also pretty amazing. I'm taking the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. It's the most underrated belt in wrestling history. It's freaking beautiful. You look like a world champion when you hold it. I'm going with the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
I'm a little upset, but I can't be mad that you pivoted. If you're gonna pivot, that's a good pivot. The lineage of that belt is shown on the belt.
That's why I think it's so important. I love that aspect of it.
Mhm.
And I love that not everybody held that title.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, and I got to be honest with you. And again, I'm not dissing the big gold belt, but David Arquette held the big gold belt. I don't want that stink on my promotion. I want bangers only, as Kendall Roy would say. Bangers only have held the IWGP World Heavyweight
Finally,
Championship.
admission. Finally,
Hey, listen.
admission. Arquette tarnished that belt.
We're telling a lot of truths at this. The truth is coming to the light on this podcast. It did. It diminished the belt. I'm sorry.
That belt's been passed around like hotcakes, bro.
It's like the Tammy Lynn cinch of world championships. Hey, boys, we're back.
I love it. I'm not gonna argue. Because that was my pick. That was definitely my pick. And I feel the exact same way you do about the big gold belt. I like the big gold belt. Rick made me like the big gold belt. But I'm not gonna pick the big gold belt.
Wow.
Not gonna do
He's
it.
dropping in the draft. Bad pre-draft workout for the big gold belt.
Right? Right?
I'm getting big Bo Callahan vibes from the big gold belt.
Listen, I if I'm not gonna get the Wing Eagle, I'm gonna go with the second iteration. I'm gonna go with the Attitude World Title. I'm gonna go with the WWF World Championship belt, the Big Eagle. That belt has been passed amongst some of the greats.
I have to correct you though. I think it's like the fifth title, but the second one of our generation.
Exactly.
Yes, it's like the fifth title or the sixth title.
When I say second, I mean second for me. Exactly. Yeah, this is the second one for me. When I first started wrestling, I started watching the Wing Eagle title, and then it was the Big Eagle.
And I mean, it's the Austin belt, it's the Rock belt, it's the Triple H belt, it's the Kurt Angle belt, it's the Mick Foley belt. I mean,
short run though. It was a short run with that belt though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a little fuzzy on this. I know the Cena thing came, but was getting the F out a big part of why they changed the belt?
Mm.
No, they went to the Universal belt.
I just remember, yeah, undisputed belt, not universal, but yeah, undisputed. Correct. That's when they combined that with the WWE version, or no, WCW
version, right?
Yes.
The big gold belt. So I don't know the answer to that question, Mikey.
Maybe it was just tied too heavily on the F, right? And that's probably one of the reasons why they had to make the change.
Well, I think, Steve, and I think this is a big point. I don't want to harbor too much on the first round here, but I think it is the big belt, so it's the one we have to spend a little more time on. I think with WWE especially, they do it by eras more than anything else, which is why a lot of people will criticize that CM Punk was never the guy, because guess what? They never changed the belt. He was carrying John Cena's belt around with him. John Cena wasn't carrying Brock Lesnar's belt around with him, was he?
No, he wasn't.
No, he's carrying his belt. And now Roman Reigns has had like 3 titles at this point. So here, it's clearly the number one guy, because you want to know why they give him a new belt. I mean, WWE doesn't hide anything. Kaz says that on a lot of podcasts. If you look and you just pay attention to the context clues, you know who their guys are. If they give you a new belt, you're a guy. And Austin was gone. Rock was gone. They needed a new belt, so they changed the belt. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but that seems to be how they do it.
Got a legit argument there. All right, TJ, close us out for round one, sir. World title. Where are you going?
Oh, we know where we're going. Mike, you just alluded to it. The
Oh,
Spinner
boy.
Championship.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This guy is already.
I knew this was coming.
But anybody's emblem right in the middle and watch it go, wee, spin around in the middle. There we go.
I want to be mad, but I just accept that this stuff happens now in this draft. People want to take us seriously.
You have
People
to.
want to take us seriously. And this guy over here with the spinner belt, which by the way, I like the spinner belt. I just felt like there was better belts on the board. Significantly better belts, but this is just what we expect here on the Casual Wrestler Podcast.
So no AEW championship, no ROH championship, no WCW championship. Big Gold was mentioned multiple times and just X'd off the board. Wow.
Thanks, David Arquette.
Yep.
Hey, we still got another round. We got that wild card round at the
That
end.
we do. But before we get to the wild card round, TJ, take us to round two, sir. What title are we drafting next?
I'm going tag titles.
Oh, love it.
Ooh, good one.
Now, some people might have to look up my choice. It's the World Wrestling Council tag team titles.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'm mad casual on this one.
If it's a belt I think of, it's a beautiful belt.
Yeah, see, I saw it while I was looking through tag teams, like, oh, that's really well done. And it really does exemplify world tag team as you see multiple multiple flags from different countries.
I was going to ask, it's the flag belt. It's the flag belt, correct?
Yep.
TJ.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut, but that's a beautiful freaking belt. I think I've only seen that belt like 3 times.
Oh wow.
That's a beautiful belt, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
wow.
a beautiful belt. How about the
I like
lineage
that.
on it, TJ? Can you give us the lineage?
Looking for the lineage.
Who was the
Good.
first holder of this belt?
Good luck. Good luck.
I'm going to Google that. We keep going. I'm going to look up a little lineage on it.
Please do. I'm very interested to hear this. But the World Wrestling Council Tag Team Championship belt. Wow. How do you follow that? I gotta follow that. Okay.
Well, Steve, I can give you a chance to rebound a little bit because I have the lineage here.
Please enlighten us, casual fans. Because after looking at this belt, it is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So the title history starts like this. This is fantastic. You're ready for this? The first crowning of this championship was February 26, 1977 at a house show. We can't even tell you where the house show was because it's not on the internet. And it was won by the Fabulous Kangaroos, who are Al Costello and Don Kent. They were then beaten by Los Dynamicos, who are Carlos Colon and Jose Rivera, very famous Puerto Rican tag team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where it gets fun.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I like this, because the bloodline gets involved after that. Because the Samoans, Afa and Sika, beat them at a house show in Puerto Rico's. I'm going to butcher. It's not San Juan. It's the other one. It's Caguas. I'm very bad with Espanol. And then, there was the Invaders. The Invader won, and Jose Rivera held the title like 4 times. So the Funks, the Kangaroos came back in 82, the Moondogs. Guys, this is a top tier tag team.
This is a top tier tag team belt, bro. Like, this is a good pick. Good pick.
Not only that, but the newer versions of it are all sharp too.
Right.
There's like several versions of this belt that are just beautiful.
Okay, so for those, again, our saying, if you haven't seen it, Google it. It's amazing. Every iteration that I'm looking at right now is a nice looking belt.
Agreed.
All right, let's get back to the tag team draft, because we can spend all day talking about these titles. They look pretty nice. But I'm gonna go with one again from childhood. One that's been passed around amongst some of the greatest tag teams of all times. Give me the nickel-plated tag team WWF championship belts. I just like the sleek
Famously,
look of it.
and that's the one wore by the Hardys, Edge and Christian.
The Dudleys,
Yes.
yes. The one where we had real tag teams and they meant something.
You're not going to get an argument here. That's a beautiful belt. Obviously, it's got the lineage to go with it. A lot of great tag teams held it. I love that pick.
It's just a nice, sharp-looking belt. You would think be something being like kind of flat-faced it, a little bit flat, that it wouldn't look as good. But I think the finish on it just looks great.
Very sharp, Steve. And here's the thing, and here's the reason why it's just one of the GOAT belts of all time. They kept that belt around forever.
Bro,
like,
85.
Yeah, bro. Because
85.
I was looking, hoping that they cut that in half so I can go, well, I'll take the original version of that belt. No, they kept it for 20 years almost. It's a beautiful belt.
I think this belt went from 85 to 2002.
That's about right. Well, yeah, the brand split. Pretty much the brand split.
And that's when we got the two different looking titles. You got around the time where you got the red tag team, and I don't want to give everything away. We might have those titles come up. So that's it. Mikey, pick number 3, round 2. Where we going, sir?
I mean, here's the thing. There's so many good looking tag belts. I think over the course of history, tag belts have been the best looking belts. I don't know why. Maybe just because there's 2 of them. But I tell you what, man, I'm a huge fan of a lot of tag belts. I'm actually going to go with a recent pick on this one. I love the AEW Tag Team Championship belts. Give me the AEW Tag Team Championship belts. The original one. They're sweet, dude. I like the the snake print on the inside. It's snake print, right? It's a gorgeous belt. The blue pops on it. It's just really good. I like their belts. I think AEW does championships very, very well. And I like the way the tag team titles. So I have a lineage pick and I have a current pick. So I feel good about my draft.
Yeah, that's a great pick, Mikey. I mean, first off, I think it's the most beautiful current belt there is. But on top of that, I think everybody would agree that tag division's kind of been the driving force of that brand or of that company since the beginning. So you got so much talent, such an important division. Probably the most important we've ever seen the tag division be in the history of wrestling, or at least in my history of wrestling. But yeah, I love that pick. Thank you, because I was trying to decide between 2 and you helped me there.
I'm always here to help out, guys.
I'm excited to hear where you're going to close this draft out with, Josh. Where are you going? Last pick in round 2.
It's always been one of my favorite tag belts. Always been one of my most beautiful tag belts I've ever seen. It probably doesn't have the lineage of some of these other ones, but in terms of just look, I always love the SmackDown WWE Championship, the original. So following your nickel-plated belt, Steve, when they broke it off and did the brand split, Raw and SmackDown, I always loved that little blue tint to it tag belt.
It always looked better than the Raw red world in there, right?
The Raw one was awful compared to that SmackDown one. The blue pops perfectly. It's just a gorgeous belt.
And not to mention that it was held by one of the best tag teams, Los Guerreros.
True.
I thought you were going to say Deuce and Dom and Domino, but here we are.
I thought you were going Billy and Chuck.
So. Oh man, I was tempted.
World's greatest tag team.
I was tempted. Oh yeah, world's greatest tag team. Look at that.
So to my point, not the lineage of the other belts, but certainly a beautiful belt.
Yes.
Beautiful belt.
All right, Josh, you get to take us around 3. And what is going to be our draft for round 3, sir?
So I am going to go with my pick. I'm going to go women's belt. And I'm going to go with a recent one. I love the way that Raw women's belt pops. I love the red in it. I'm going women's belt. So current WWE women's belt. Clearly a great
the Raw
lineage.
version?
The Raw version, not the SmackDown, which I'm sure people could debate right there. But
Yep.
I'm going Raw.
I like that belt. Honestly, I like the red more than I like the blue. And personally, but I can see the argument for both. The white strap, I think, just kind of just sets off both belts, period.
I prefer the blue personally, but I'm not drafting it, but I prefer the blue.
Throw the lineage in there. I think it's got a slightly better lineage. Although a lot of the same people have held both. I'd say the Raw list is a little more impressive. So that'll put that over the top for me. And not to mention, I'm a big fan, especially now that we're on to like our 5th iteration of it. I'm a big fan of that current WWE look that they used for the world title, the universal title, both women's titles. It's a simple look, but I think they knocked it out of the park with that look.
Mm-hmm. They can thank UFC for that. All right, Mikey, take us to your pick in round 3, women's titles. Where are we going?
Leave it to me to do a little controversy, to create a little schism in this draft. But I'm going with a forbidden title. But I think it's sharp as hell. First things first, there is nothing wrong with consensual activities in the bedroom. And as long as everybody is on the same page and having fun, hey, life is life. And people are always going to drag you down. And people hate seeing other people succeed. With this being said, give me the NXT Women's Championship from 2013 to 14, aka the Page belt. I think it's freaking beautiful. I'm talking about the belt. Paige is beautiful as well. Saraya, I love her. This belt is forgotten in history because of circumstances which we can't control. It is a monumentally beautiful women's title. And I think the original NXT titles were better looking. They just had to change everything because of this unfortunate incident. I believe it was called the Fappening. You can Google that if you'd like. We've gotten off the rails here, but the title's beautiful. I rest my case.
Yo, I'm not going to argue with you. The NXT Championship title, both men's and women's, was awesome. The Big X, I absolutely love. Huge fan of those titles.
So we're just gonna let this go. No one's gonna say anything. Okay, let's move on.
I'm gonna let it go, bro. I'm gonna let it go.
Personally, I like the newer. I shouldn't say the newer, not the current one, but I like the second iteration of that women's belt a little more with the black background. The one that Asuka more so held. I like that one a lot more than the Page belt.
I feel you, and I appreciate the lineage that you did not share on the title, but the extracurricular lineage that it did share. For those who don't know what we're talking about, Google.
Put the link in the description, Steve. We're getting canceled today.
Man. Listen.
Already? We just came back.
Right? Can't stay on the air for more than 5 minutes. All right, listen. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I won the women's title at least. I won the women's portion of this title because you guys are not picking the title that is the obvious choice. Give me the UK women's title. Done.
Great pick. Good pick. Very good pick.
The detail and the detail in that alone speaks volume. It's a beautiful title held by some of the best women wrestlers across the world. Give me the women's UK women's championship.
As the person who started the round, I think I might have made a mistake. I don't think my scouting was good enough on this round. That was a great pick, Steve.
Title's
Definitely great pick.
amazing.
You beat me to it.
I thought you were gonna go to Divas title. That's why the butterfly title. That's why I picked it.
Oh gosh. Please don't tell me that.
Let's light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up.
All right, TJ, close us out, bro.
All right, since the UK title's off the board, no, I'm not gonna go Divas title. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna chill. But what I am gonna choose is a title that was introduced in 2019, the NWA World Women's Championship. That iteration of it, the title which holds the picture of the current champion in the center.
TJ's making our fingers work today. Having to Google all these, man.
Man, I just saw the picture of it, and I'm gonna tell you right now, that's pretty sweet.
TJ, we talking about the one with the picture of the wrestler in the middle?
Yeah. It changes for every champion that holds it.
Although a unique concept, I don't know. I don't know if I like the picture in the middle. You take
It's
that
unique.
picture out, I like it a lot more. It is, and you can't fault them for trying. But I don't know. I got to sit on that one a little bit.
I think the belt itself, here, I'll agree on both ends. I think the belt is actually beautiful. The picture, however, though, I think personally, in NWA, please take notes. They should just put my picture on it. If they put my picture on this belt, it'd be the best belt of all time. But it's a women's championship. So it's probably, although listen, we're not going to get involved with any of that. But listen, no, it's a beautiful belt. I'm joking around. It's a beautiful belt.
I just think maybe, Mike, they probably need to use more of an HD picture instead of like old what's those
old potato?
Yeah, maybe let's not use one of them little click cameras. Let's use
it looks like a picture my mother took at prom on a Polaroid in like
it is
2001.
A Polaroid, bro. It is a Polaroid. This looks like the back opens up. You can just slide the Polaroid in.
No, it's not the back that opens up. It's got to be a slot in the top somewhere that you just slide it in and slide it back out.
Don't go anywhere with that, Mikey. Moving on.
Let's move on. I muted my mic.
All right, TJ, take us to round 3, sir. The women's titles are off the board. The tag titles are off the board. The world title is off the board. We have mid card and wild card left over. Where are we going, sir?
I think the wild card of the group will go last with the wild card pick. So I'm going to go mid card for the 4th round.
Okay.
And my mid card is the ECW television title.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Man. I'm speechless.
DJ, although I have to say there was a chalk number 1, this is my number 2. And I thought I was stealing this one. Wow.
Well, Josh, I got it. You weren't getting it. You weren't getting it. I was taking it because I thought I saw how this round was going, and I have goosebumps right now because I have no idea what I'm picking now. I had this pick locked in. I wasn't even paying attention, and then he said that. That is insane. That's a great pick.
That is a great pick.
I'm speechless. Yeah, this is definitely a great pick. A lot of lineage behind this title. A lot of lineage. Some of the best matches.
Well, the lineage isn't.
Let's be real. The TV title used to be the main event sometimes for most nights.
Yep.
I was just going to say that it's really not a big lineage. It's one guy, one guy. That's it. And it's not really, other guys won it, but this is Rob Van Dam's title. I mean, this is the Rob Van Dam belt.
Yep.
So real quick, because there was 2 versions of it. Are we talking about the first or the second version, TJ?
The original.
Okay, see, I would have gone the second version, the one that was backed by Van Dam.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure it's the right one, TJ, because I did this before too, and I did the exact same thing. Make sure, because there's the NWA version, and then it goes to the ECW one.
version. Yep.
It's subtle, but it's there. And
Yeah.
let's just do this for prosperity.
If we're talking ECW version, as you guys said, the lineage of it, the Rob Van Dam title, right? You had that. You had Bigelow. You had guys in the to Jerry, super crazy, Rhino. Just it was like the workers' belt, and like you said, it was main eventing shows. I can't tell you how great of a pick this was.
This is an amazing pick.
I'd also like to point out Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Mikey Whipwreck, Shane Douglas, Lionheart.
But was
Chris
that
Jericho.
the first version or the second? Did they hold that second version of it? I saw those names too.
No, you're absolutely right.
Mhm.
You're absolutely right.
I thought it
I
started.
think
Yeah.
you're 100% right. You're 1,000% right. But we're talking lineage here. I like lineage. I'm a lineage guy. That's a T-shirt that should be available on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Right?
Yeah, that's a great pick. That only leaves one pick for you, Steve. If you don't take it, I'm gonna be disappointed in you.
Listen, man. The Intercontinental Championship.
Thank you.
I don't even know why this is a thing. If we're not going to talk about the TV title, it's the Intercontinental Championship.
And clearly, we're talking about the Attitude Era, the skinny one,
yes,
right?
the skinny.
No.
Yes,
No,
yes.
please.
We're talking about the skinny version, right? With the round, and of course not. No, the '80s version of the WWF WWE Intercontinental Championship belt. That was the workhorse belt for WWE at the time, or WWF at the time. And you don't talk about lineage. Everyone great has held that belt.
I have a very important question to ask you, though, Steve. What color is the strap?
White.
Oh, good question.
White.
Okay. All right.
White.
I agree with Steve, but I'm going to also say there is not a bad answer to that.
It is not a bad answer, and I agree 100%. If someone said black, I'd be like, that's really good. I like the black one too. White. The white strap on that title looks amazing. It almost is reminiscent of the women's title that we have right now. Like I said, the white strap on the women's title make both of the belts pop. That's why both of them, to me, look good. I like the Raw version better, but again, I think the white version of the belt, of the strap, actually means something. Which, shout out to the Wrestling Realm podcast, who's actually doing Does the Strap Matter pod coming up soon. So look out for that for Mr. Brother Brandon. So definitely gotta plug them.
Now, I also am contractually obligated to mention the Cody, as I call this
of
belt.
Course.
This is the belt that Cody brought back before he disappeared for 7 years off the face of the earth and didn't wrestle anywhere else, but came back to WWE a star, according to Michael Cole. No, I'm kidding. But no, yes, it's a beautiful belt. I thought it was the first pick. I'm spiraling right now. I don't know what belt I'm taking. This is something weird's about to happen.
You're gonna have to go left real hard. As a matter of fact, you are next, sir. Where are we going?
Oh my God.
And we don't even have anything to buy you time right now either. No.
I don't need that much time. I don't need that much time. I will say this. There's a couple of shout outs that I could make. There's a couple ROH belts. There's a couple WWE belts. But I'm gonna go with one little off the beaten path, and you might have to Google it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a mid-card title, and I'm gonna go with the WCW Cruiserweight Championship.
Ooh.
Famously held by Rey Mysterio. There's a picture of him looking at the title.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mid-card title. It's not the mid-card title for WCW, but if you look at that belt, they liked it so much, they basically ripped it off when they did the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. They just replaced the name, and I think they made like a Fugazi version of it. It wasn't as shiny, By the way, now that I said that, how do you guys feel? Do you guys like a shiny belt or a dull belt? What's your thoughts? Shiny or dull? Real quick. Do you want a belt that shines, or do you like a belt that just you could read everything?
I like a shiny belt. I think it should pop.
I'll go
agree with you.
dull. I'll go dull, actually.
Clearly, I
So
go with
wait.
shiny. Look at the spin of the title.
Yeah, I mean, T, I wasn't asking you. I guess my point is, there wasn't a kid alive that like when they were holding up the belt in their dream, it was a dull belt though. I mean, you're holding up the shiny belt with the diamonds and the flash bulbs. Now, kids, back in the day, cameras would flash, okay, and it would set like light off in the arena. That's how it worked before. Before you could just click it with your finger and then an HD photo right there. But yeah, the Cruiserweight Championship. I think it's a beautiful belt. I'm a lineage guy. You could look at the lineage of that belt, pretty freaking fantastic. Not around a long time either. So yeah, the '90s Cruiserweight Championship.
Not gonna argue. That's a good looking belt, man. That Rey Mysterio and Juventud back and forth.
Chris
Hoovy
Jericho,
Juice.
Dean Malenko.
Yep.
He will not be mentioned. I believe held the title for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
People thought that Cyclope won it. It wasn't. It was Dean Malenko. But hey, Cyclope. Shout out to Cyclope.
Billy Kidman.
Billy Kidman. My personal hero.
I'm gonna let Cody hear you say that.
I hope he's
Josh,
not listening.
Josh, close us out, sir. Round 3, mid card. You got some ground to make up right now, sir.
We're going to go back-to-back WCW belts. I'm going to go with one of my favorite of all time, the United States Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Technically 2 versions, although I'm looking at them, I really don't see a difference. I'll go with the later version of it. Just listen to this run that held that second belt. You're looking at Ric Flair, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Jeff Jarrett, the greatest of all time, Steve Mongo McMichael, Kurt Hennig, Diamond Dallas Page, Raven, Goldberg, Bret Hart. I mean, this list is amazing. And having been a kid at the time, that little sequence of like the Diamond Dallas Page, Raven, Goldberg, Bret Hart, that little time period, that belt was just on fire. I even liked later on, before WCW ended, if you remember, Lance Storm had his own Canadian version of the belt when he won it. It's just, to me, one of the most beautiful belts I've ever seen.
Sharp belt.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to go with the WCW TV Championship because that was a sharp belt. WCW low-key had sharper belts than WWE for a little bit.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. They did.
Because
That they
the
did.
Attitude Era, when they went to the inexplicable purple belt that like we have to talk about. I mean, it's kind of like, it's kind of like the brother-in-law that's been in rehab a couple times. You don't like to talk about it. We have to. And by the way, get help if you need it. But the belt was an eyesore. And WCW had like 5 really good-looking titles at one time, including the big gold belt. It might be the best belt period of all time. I said that. 96 to 99 WCW might have had the best belt period, pound for pound, belt for belt, especially when you consider there was like 5 of them. And they were all sharp. Not one ugly belt.
They all had good looking belts around that time. Absolutely. That can't.
And then they introduced the hardcore title, and they ruined everything.
Downward spiral. Josh, round 4, our last round, wild card round. You get the first pick, sir. You get to pick anything your heart desires. I wonder where we are going to go. Floor is yours, sir.
Wow. How long do I get to make this draft pick? I might need some time here because that's a good one. I got 2 minutes on the clock before I got to make my pick, right?
There you go, man. 2 minutes has started.
All right. So I'll make my pick. I'm going to go with the current AEW World Championship belt. I just think it is a beautiful belt. beautiful belt. It's been held by some of the who's who of current wrestlers. I just think it's a beautiful belt. I know it had a very much a New Japan vibe to it. I think they knocked it out of the park on the first try, and God help them when they choose to switch the look of that belt, because I think you're going to see a lot of very upset people.
I am not going to disagree with you on that. Very much how the AEW women's title is now. I really, really, really like the AEW championship. Again, a champion should look like a champion, and that belt screams champion, especially with the Burberry on the background. Ah,
Pretty platinum.
Triple B.
It's an excellent choice. I think that, when AEW starts, it's one of those things where, there's a lot of people that are saying, well, this is a pissant wrestling company. You got to come correct with the world championship. There was a lot of pressure. And I think it's been a long time where a belt was like universally like, wow, that's a sharp belt. Like nobody talked crap on that belt. Unless you were just trying to get clicks. That belt's beautiful. It's a beautiful choice.
All right, Mikey. Wild card pick for you. Round 4, pick number 2. Where we going?
I mean, here, I want to have fun, right? Like here, I'll be honest with you. I'm taking the big gold belt because I'm trying to win. And it's the best, it's like the second best looking title of all time. And I have a second chance to draft it, so I'm gonna do it. It speaks for itself. David Arquette aside, even if you count the WWF version or WWE version, like everybody held that title. Everybody kind of worthwhile held that title. But I got to give a shout out. And I'm sorry if I'm stealing somebody's pick, but I feel like they're not. I don't feel like I'm going to, because this is kind of a deep cut, because this belt has been changed 1,000 times. But throw this in your Google machine. The second incarnation of the X Division title
shut up.
in TNA. Really? I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
No.
So let's get into it. Well, you could pick another belt now.
Yeah, I'm going to pick another belt. Don't worry. Go ahead.
How sharp is that belt?
Please tell the fans how awesome that belt looks.
First off, the red X shouldn't work. It should be an eyesore. It's not. Here, I remember watching it on TV, and you can't read anything else on the belt. But when the guy came out through that tunnel, you could see the red X on television
Immediately.
Lineage, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Jerry Lynn, Amazing Red,
Christopher Daniels,
Frankie Kazarian, Motor City Machine Guns. I think both of them at one point held it, and I know Saban did.
Saban definitely did.
And it's funny that it's getting more playtime on this podcast than the big gold belt. But I just think I think it's a beautiful belt, and I'm sorry for stealing it or throwing it in the air. But my official pick is the big gold belt. It's got to be. Come on, the big gold belt.
I'm not gonna argue with you. Again, it's a belt that, in my opinion, Ric Flair made very famous. But my only issue that I have with this belt is that this belt has, yes, it's been in the hands of a lot of our favorites, right? But it has been in the hands of a lot of our favorites very frequently. So it's been passed around so much.
It has had a lot of, yes.
But it's the big gold belt.
Yeah, you're not going to hear an argument from me. It's a beautiful belt. Beautiful belt, huge lineage. Just doesn't have that flash that some of these other picks have had. I think that's why it's gotten pushed so late into the draft.
Okay. Since Mikey tried to steal my thunder, I'm still going to go with the X Division Championship. Give me the current iteration of the X Division Championship.
Ooh,
and the reason is because they went back and paid homage to the older versions with the big red X on the title. And the reason I want that for my championship is because, not just because of the lineage, because we just talked about it a few minutes ago, not just because of the lineage, not just because of the big red X, because again, I think it makes the belt pop. The current version of it just looks like an awesome belt. But I want this title because of the advantage the holder has. The winner of the X Division Championship title can challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's just a cool idea. They cash it in, it's almost like Money in the Bank, and the title's vacated, and you have another tournament. It keeps it fresh, it keeps it active, it keeps a new champion going, and you can keep storylines going forever with a title like this. So I'm going the current iteration of the X Division Championship.
Do I have to say it?
Sure.
Why am I always the bad guy on this podcast? I don't think it's that great look of a belt, Steve. I'm sorry.
Whatever,
I think
bro.
it's one of the worst versions of the belts. I'm sorry I ruined your pop, but I do like the fact that they brought the big red X back, and it does pop on TV. I just think that they tried to mold two belts together. And I'll make a prediction. If Impact sticks around, the next version of this belt is going to be the best version since that, because I feel like there is always a time when, and you can look back at belts where like they try something and it's like, yeah, this is good. But then they strip like one thing away from it and it looks perfect. I don't like the edges. And this is like belt nerd stuff, but like if they rounded it out more, I think it'd be better looking. But the plate is beautiful. I just don't like the shape, like those edges. I don't like that.
You mean on the center plate, or you mean on the side plate?
Yes. No. I don't like the center plate. I don't like the fact it looks like it was like melted. I like a clean belt.
I like
all my picks.
I like the texture look that it has on the belt, though. That's what I like about the belt.
I'm with Steve. I think this is better than the version you brought up earlier. I don't like this. I don't like the smooth, rounded look of that old one. I like this one, how it's kind of a little rougher. It reminds me a lot of the best version of the NXT belt to me, except I actually like it more than the NXT belt. I'm with Steve on this one. I think this is a beautiful belt.
I think
it's textured.
I think that both of you are not bald, so you don't understand shiny round things. And that's where I'm leaving it.
Appreciate it. TJ, close us out, sir, in this crazy draft that we just had right now. Round 4, last pick, Wildcard goes to TJ. Oh my God. Could the stars be any more aligned right now?
You like how I set that up for myself in the last round, don't you?
I see what you did there.
I'm gonna be relatively normal. Because I was tempted to say the cardboard cutout championship that all of us had at home.
Yes. Everybody had one of those. And if you didn't have one, you're a liar. You had one. I know you had one.
But I'm gonna go fairly normal and say the hardcore championship, not the 24/7. I don't like that title just as much as some of us don't like the new Intercontinental title. The hardcore championship from WWE that was initially made as a joke for Mankind, who is the first champion. RVD was the last champion. Oddly, the other person who reigned the most with that title is Raven with 26.
Oh crap! I did not know Raven was a 26-time hardcore champion.
Oh yeah.
What I love about this, Josh, go please.
No, I love the pick. It was a unique. First off, I love the look. Unique idea for a look. Unique idea for a title. The fact that you're always defending it. I think it's a great pick.
What I love about this title is that, does everybody remember the original conspiracy online theory about what the belt was?
A broken version of the Winged Eagle?
Not broken. Well, it is broken, yes. But does everybody remember when Mr. Perfect stole Hulk Hogan's title and took the hammer to it?
Yep.
that was the rumor that was this belt. Turns out it's not. But I think it was actually a fashioned old tag belt, actually, where they took a nameplate, and there's a whole big conspiracy theory about whose belt and what belt it was. But like, I, in my mind, always just kept it as the old Hulk Hogan belt, which, if you think about it, ironically, is awesome that Foley held it like that, because it's just kind of funny. But everybody remembers the hardcore division fondly. I know I do. I know a lot of people think it was crazy, but like, dude, that's the Attitude Era. Like, it wasn't about the moves.
Yep.
It wasn't about the moves at all.
Absolutely. Well, that was a fun draft, guys.
I agree.
Tune in next week if we're not canceled. Sorry, guys.
No, absolutely. Hopefully we don't be we're not canceled after some of the shenanigans that happened on this pod. Join in for our next pod. We start talking about three-ways matches. We make sure we clarify.
I was just saying, are we going to put that link in the description too?
Oh man.
Like, follow, subscribe, cancellations. Guys, I have to say thank you so much for listening. And boys, the boys are back. The boys are back.
You know it. You know it. Please like and subscribe from your casual wrestling team. Until the next time, from Josh, TJ, and Mikey, and myself, stay positive, my friends.